Hello, 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 and welcome. We are back in the room. We are doing the eighth studio album from Red Hot Chili Peppers, released July the 9th, 2002. It is by The Way. And so the band continues. This is, like I say, 3 years after Californication, which was seen by many as a big return because John Frusciante, 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 Frusciante. Why, Darren? Why'd you do this to yourself? You know you're saying it wrong. Well, because there's the wine called Chianti. So you say Chianti and Frus. That's easy. Frus. F-R-U-S. Frus Chianti. Frus Chianti. Frusciante. See, then you start bending it, you see. Language is a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing. Anyway, 68 minutes, 27 seconds. That's my major problem with this. And, well, subsequent Chili Peppers albums is everything starts to get longer and longer and longer. And it's a shame. It is a shame because there are some good songs on this one. I just think it's just too much for my addled brain to deal with. So again, the team is back in. They're back together. And they're developing on what the foundation that we had with Californication. Again, there's a couple of songs on here that I just think B-sides. Who remembers B-sides? And there are some that I think are really strong. But like I say, it's 68 minutes long. 68 minutes long. With commercial breaks, that's almost a movie. Opens with "By the Way," which is a great statement. I think it's a great statement. And again, their arrangement skills have come into their own. There's a lot going on there texturally. There's a lot happening. Yeah, you got the funky, slap bass, but if there's a lot, there's there's Kiedis using language percussively. It's just there's lots there to hook you and bring you in. And I think that was the lead single from the record. And it features a character played by Dave Sheridan, who appears in, I think it's Universally Speaking as well. Great video. A great video. Mentions Danny, a character who appears in other songs. But yeah, I think it's a really good opener. As I've said before, first track always is the one to grab you by the neck and drag you along, and there's no difference here. By the Way, I think is very good, and this also happens to be the title, the titular, the eponymous song of the record, followed by Universally Speaking, which was also a single off the record. How many singles did they release off this? Got the Wikipedia open. Oh, that's funny. That was the last one they released off. That's funny. I'm remembering it in the different order, unless it was different in America. So yeah, By the Way, Zephyr's song. Again, I always thought Zephyr's song was a later single, unless it was in the UK. I don't know. Cant Stop, Dosed. Dosed wasn't released over here, I don't think. Universally Speaking was. Didn't buy any of the singles off of this one, though. But I obviously bought the album on the day of release. Universally Speaking is a lovely kind of strummy, do. This is the place. Again, there are a couple of tracks on this which I just am not that enamoured with. Dosed, it's good. Is that a drugs reference? Is it? I'm getting along. I want to get to the good one. Zephyr's song, I think, is a nice one. Again, it's a nice summary, single. It's again what I must bring the attention to is the harmonies on here. The band really care. There's a lot of harmonization. There's a lot of harmonies happening here. Which one is it? Is it Tear? The harmonies on Tear sound like the Hollies, which is just fantastic. But I like Zephyr's song. It's a great song, and Can't Stop, which is just fantastic. Again, paired up with the video they put out for it. Bang, 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 bang. It's just, and of course the guitar solo, which is, well, is it really a solo? Frusciante is the master of the non-solo. He just does stuff. It's not necessarily melodic, but it just fits. There are noises that he makes that work as solos, and the squeals that he does on Can't Stop are just, again, very typical of him, doing a non-solo solo, because he's wow. I mean, it's not. It's almost like the one note solo of Townsend, isn't it? On I Can See for Miles and Miles. It's just a noise punctuating the thing, but it's ideal. I Could Die for You. Again, it's all right. It's a bit of a B-side. Midnight, don't care about that. Throw away your television there. But we get to Cabron, which is, it's kind of echoes. There's a little bit of Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin in there. Over the Hills and Far Away. Diggly-ling, diggly-ling-a-ding, ding-a-ding-a-ding, dig-a-dig-a-dig-a-ding. And then they embrace the Mexican, is it called Chicana, culture of LA. And I really like it. I think it's and again, they're playing with a different tonal palette. It's kind of acousticy and folky, and like I say, embracing the Hispanic cultural influences that they have. Again, living in California. I think it's. I think again that's one of my another favourite. I really like that one. As I said, mentioned Tear. It's got some great harmonies on it, which reminded me of the Hollies. On Mercury, but we get to Minor Thing, which I think is probably just one of my favourites. Again, it's playful, but you've got this guitar thing that comes towards the end where Frusciante does this. Again, it kind of references Scar Tissue's solo, and then it kind of goes minor, goes from major to minor, and it gets a bit dark. It gets a bit ominous. But I fucking love that song so much. When that comes on, I rock my head like this. I'm like, oh yeah, this is my groove. Really, really like that song. So again, I'm already cutting down the album to, by the way, Universally Speaking, Dos Zephyr's song, Can't Stop, Cabron, Tear, Minor Thing. That's my version of the album. If I was to, chop it down, I'd make it a really tight, funky. I'm going to use the F word. Rocky, happy, sunny record. Rather than have these B-side bits that keep clogging out. There's a lot of clogginess. Claggy. Boggy. Warm Tape is weird. Why is it weird? Because it sounds like Pulp. Seriously, go and listen to, I know, His and Hers, or it sounds like something. Keyboard bit. It's pure Jarve and Co. from Pulp, and it's as if they've been listening to too many Pulp records. And I kind of like it, but it feels out of place. It's an odd one. Venice Queen, 6 minutes 6, the longest track on the album. It's pleasant enough, but is it a good end to the record? I don't know. They should have ended with Minor Thing, I think. I think that would have just fucking would have finished the album perfectly. Venice Queen's not a bad song. Again, I think it might be a little bit overlong. Sometimes the longer songs, I don't think the chilies do so well. I think they're better off when they're tight, and like the muscles that they show when they play with their shirts off. The album should be tight, like Anthony Kiedis's midriff, I think. But yeah, again, it's a funny record. I think, again, it's largely overshadowed by Californication because it was, oh, they're back, and everyone celebrated it. I think, by the way, it's kind of like not a bit of an also-ran in the catalogue. That's not to say it's a poorer record. I think that some of their strongest songs are on this. I think really, again, they've jumped forward in their sophistication as songwriters, and I think just comes together really, really well. And again, the harmonising. They're the Beach Boys now. It's like, what? They're the Beach Boys, and that's another string to their sonic bow. And I think it's really cool. Anyway, let's have a look at the vinyl while we have it at hand. There we go. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. Directed. Not directed. The art direction was the art direction by what's his name again? No, it was by Julian Schnabel. I was right. Director. I thought it was Gus Van Sant again. That was last album, wasn't it? Julian Schnabel. And I'm thinking of School of Rock for some reason. Schnabel, isn't that a name in School of Rock? He did the artwork. He's an artiste, and I think he makes films as well. I think, and he was the father of Frusciante, his girlfriend at the time, and he did the artwork, which is kind of cool. I don't know. It's all right. It's all right. I like the picture that's on the inside better. I think would have made it. Oh, in the back they're looking kind of moody. I think they're on the way to a funeral or so. They're burying someone. I don't know. They don't look happy, do they? Or maybe one of them's had a poo, and then they're examining it. It looks like. I mean, Kiedis is like, he's like, wow, I never thought that would come out of a human. And Chad Smith's like, he's just like bamboozled by it. He's got a little smirk on his face. He's thinking, I've done poo like that before. I think it's Frusciante's poo, because I imagine he probably puts a suit and tie to have a shit, unless he's shooting up. Oh my, oh boy, too soon, Darren. And this has the flimsiest insert ever. Look how flimsy that is. I have to be so careful. It's like it's printed on fag paper. The paper they use in Bibles. That, I think, would have made a better album sleeve. That should have been the album sleeve. I think it was used on the single. But I think that's more eye-catching. I'm not a big fan of that kind of almost juvenile kind of artwork style. I don't like it. Unless you've got a kid drawing it. If an adult produces it, it's like, really? Look, it's vinyl. It got labels to designate which album's which. That's good. First one is it's all falling on me. Totally unprofessional. Other YouTubers don't do this. They have desks to work at. It's just black. It's black and thick and 12 inches. Just how you like it. I know what you like. Black, thick and 12 inches. Oh yes. And that one's black and thick and 12 inches as well. Look, it's got Puce label. Puce. Nobody uses the word puce anymore. I'm bringing it back. Forget magenta. Forget purple. We're going puce. We're going puce on this baby. Full puce. So yeah, there's some really good songs on this that I really, really like, but it's flagged up by a lot of stuff. I really, they're not bad. This is the thing, they're not bad songs. In my mind's eye, I see a truly great record, but so many bands at this time were obsessed by doing like kind of double albums, or I guess you'd call it would have been a double album back in the day. Technically, it isn't because it's 68 minutes. It's not like 90 minutes or whatnot. But this is the problem with a lot of records at this time is we're going to fill it up. We're going to fill it up, and they've lost the art of the good record, the good album. People forget that. Making an album is an art form. Now, albums are just irrelevant because of the whole streaming thing, and people just, like the odd track here and there. I bemoan that, and I know people say, "Oh, but Darren, blah blah blah." If you've been around me long enough, I think that, perfect albums are usually 35 to 45 minutes long. They're in that kind of magic golden area of length, and anything that goes over 45 minutes, you have got to be tight to keep the people, to keep people interested. That's just me. You may disagree, and that's fine, but I'm just saying, go back, look at those classic albums, the ones that you really love, the ones that are held aloft. They are all within that 45, 35 minute margin. Trust me, they're all within that. Some of the greatest Beatles albums are only 35 minutes long. God, blimey. And let's see, now I start going on about the length of albums. It's a bugbear of mine. But this acts as a precursor to the next record, which I'm not looking forward to because it's 2 hours long. 2 hours. 2 hours long. Yeah, it's 2 hours long. And that's next time. That's if I even make it through those albums. That's if I can. It's 100. Was it? It's 122 minutes, 19 seconds long. I think I've only ever listened to its entirety twice. This will be the third time. And that's my problem. This is where it becomes ridiculous. And I needed to go on about the length of albums just because I'm going to do it again. I'm probably going to do it again for Stadium Arcadium. Oh, I've mentioned it now. Spoilers. Oh, shit. I spoil it all. Anyway, I've been talking about, by the way, the Chili's eighth studio album, originally released way back July the 9th, 2002. Blimey. God, seems like 20 years ago. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos. If you are, show your appreciation by thumbing the thumb button thumbingly. Really have some thumb with it. Or not. Leave a comment if you have to. Engagement. The algorithm. If you want to give me money, I've got a Patreon. All right, patreon.com/lock. Go there quick. Or you can join. There's a club thing. You give me money, and I keep making videos. And that's the telephone. It's probably a cold caller because we're getting a lot of those lately. Anyway, I'm going to go and slam the phone down. Ta-da.